Greeting lecturer and hello everyone. Today, me and my team are so excited to show you our presentation. In this video, we will do a story analysis of The Village by the Sea. But before we get started, we would like to pay our respect to the teacher for giving us this credible opportunity to do the presentation. It was a fun and memorable project indeed. For now, I would like to introduce you to our team. We are from Group 2, and we have 5 members in total, such as Bongdawin, Deza, me, Bongmanit, and Rotana. Now I would like to dive deep into our presentation. Everyone, welcome to the Chapter 10 of The Village by the Sea. This story was written by Anita Desai in 1982. It described the poverty, hardships, and sorrow faced by a small rural community in India. Our team will mainly focus on Chapter 10 only. In this chapter, the story occurs during monsoon seasons. So what will happen to this character in Chapter 10? Let's find out together. This is our table of content. First of all, we will cover the brief summary of Chapter 10, and then we will discuss the 3 important messages that are based on psychoanalytic criticism theory, and following by the 3 useful ideas that reflect our daily life with the conclusion at the end of the presentations. For now, I would like to hand the floor to Deza. She will cover the first part.
Thank you, Laimi, and I'm going to be responsible for the next part. And here is our character in Chapter 10, such as Harry and Laila, Jagu's wife, Kamal, Bella, and Laila's mother. Biju, the watchman at the tall building, and the 2 boys in the eating house. Laila's father, Jagu, Mr. Panwala, and the gentleman at the Silva. Now I would like to take all of you to look at the first part, which is about the summary in Chapter 10. The monsoon is coming. Mr. Panwala brings Harry to Wally Sea Face to see the approach of the monsoon. He said he did this every year on a day in the first week of June. Harry is grateful when Mr. Panwala buys him a green coconut and a peppercorn filled with the puff rice because he feels like a child again, not a sugar adult that keeping up with the other adult in the world. Harry did not know how hard people live in Bombay when the monsoon season is coming. Watching the rain, he stayed indoors and looked at the water rising in the street. The drain was blocked, which made the street become flood. Car broke down and cannot move. So Harry and the 2 boys in the kitchen go out and make up some pocket money by pushing the car. It rained almost every day. Mr. Panwala becomes sick, so his shop is closed. That meant Harry has nowhere to go, but he stays in the kitchen and becomes sick because of the raining. Jagu feels bad for Harry when he saw Harry sleep in the kitchen and get wet all over body. So he invites Harry to his home. Hearing those words made Harry was so grateful for the invitation to go anywhere that he got up and followed Jagu out of the shop and down to the road. In Jagu's house seemed so silent when Jagu and Harry arrived home. Jagu's wife stared at Jagu, who is her husband, when he asked her to bring some food and give it to Harry. However, she does not want to give Harry any food because there are not enough for her family. Harry seems too nervous when he heard them argue with each other. He did not dare to say any word while they were arguing. After they done talking with each other, Jagu went out and go to have some alcohol drink. Now there are only 2 of them, Harry and Jagu's wife. Harry wants to speak to her, but he don't dare to talk to her. After a while, he asked her about Jagu's like, does he drink every night? She shook her head and said no. He's not that bad as some other in this Chapat party. Then Harry talked about his father, how bad it is, his father in his family. In the morning, Harry did not want to stay at Jagu's house anymore, so he came back to the eating house. And once the watchman of the tall building who had first met Harry and brought him to the eating house, he told Harry that the people Harry came to see that night, they are back. However, Harry stopped caring about having job in their flat long time ago. His time and his mind only think about his work in the kitchen and work with the watchmaker he was learning from, Mr. Pamela, and saving his money to home. Harry and the other boy listening to the radio, and they heard the news that talked about the storm in the Alibi. Harry cried and staring at the three watching faces. The news said there were 10 fishing boats are reported lost at the sea, and many fishermen are feared that. Harry knew his father did not work in the boats, but he was worried about his people in the village. Lila's father is not the same as before. He knows how to take care of his wife by keeping an eye on the coming and going of the nurses and doctors, and make sure that his wife had all she needed. Also, he gave up on drinking. One day, when the new show about fishermen were losing in the sea, Bijou scolded others. Bijou tell the Coast Guard that he had told many times to those not to go to the sea, but they did not follow his advice. While Layla, Gamal, and Bella smoking the fire in their hut that night, they were grateful that they could eat because of the money paid them by the gentleman. Listening to the storm outside, they wonder how Harry is doing while he didn't come home. Why he didn't come home? They look really miss Harry. And now, this is all I have done with my part, which is about the summary. And thank you. And now I would like to invite Lai Ming to explain the next part, which is about the main messages.
Thank you, Daisa, for handing me the floor. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Lai Ming, and I will cover about 3 important messages in this sector. The first message in the story that I want to share with all of you is that kindness costs nothing, but it means everything. I bet everyone is familiar with the term kindness already. Kindness comes from many different forms, and it is a good quality of behavior that humans can behave. It shows that you are friendly, generous, and considerate to the other people. A small gesture can count as kindness as well, and it costs nothing, but it could make that person remember it forever. In this chapter, there are lots of characters that illustrate about kindness. Mr. Panvilla has always been kind to Harry from the start. In the beginning of the chapter, Mr. Panvilla brought Harry to see the Wally sea face when the monsoon came. At that moment, Harry feels so grateful to him that he was just like a parent who brings their children to have some fun. Additionally, Jagu was so thoughtful to Harry. When Harry got sick in the eating house, Jagu gave Harry a hand even if his home is not in a good situation. He promised to take Harry to the dispensary and even fought with his wife because of him. Harry felt so thankful toward Jagu, and thanks to him, he could cure his sickness and survive for another day. The watchman there of the tall building got Harry to the Krishna eating house and got him shelter, food, and even a job. Without him from the first place, Harry would not survive and save the money for his family. He was the first person who had reached out to help Harry. Harry would not forget his good deed for the rest of his life. In this chapter, Leela also received help from the gentleman who lived in the De Silva's house. This gentleman present could lighten up Leela and her whole family. In the story tag itself, it is mentioned that Leela was so grateful and appreciated his present. Overall, all of these characters has shown a kindness behavior to the main character Harry and Lila. If you take a look at the psychoanalytic criticism theory, we can see that there are three factors that apply to these important messages. Firstly, it is about fear. Both Mr. Panvella and Jagu are fans of Harry. Harry's behaviors and little gesture has created a strong relationship between him and Mr. Panvella. Besides that, Jagu and Harry have been working together and Harry is a very helpful person, so obviously they will grow close to each other. Therefore, Jagu and Mr. Panvella fear of losing his close people, and that is the reasons why they're always taking good care of him. Secondly, it is an ethical behavior to be kind to the other in certain circumstances. In the story, when Harry got sick, Jagu could not bear to see him suffering, so he brought Harry home. It is an ethical behavior to help someone when they are in need or in danger. Moreover, the watchman of the tall building is aware of Harry's situation. He sticks to his ethical behavior and he comes to tell Harry about the Silva's family. Last but not least, you tend to be kind to someone when they hold a strong value with you. For example, Lila and Mr. Gentleman who live at the De Silva house hold mutual values with each other. Lila helps him to prepare his meals, and in contrast, he helped Lila by giving her allowance. Now, I would like to draw your attention to see the second messages. The second important message in chapter 10 that I would like to discuss is about disagreement. Is disagreement really a sign of conflict? Well, let's take a look together. There's one scene in chapter 10 when Jagu and his wife fought with each other because Jagu brought Harry to his home. In these scenes, you can see that they strongly disagree with each other. Jagu wants to help Harry and brings him to the dispensary because he is sick. However, the wife does not think the same way. The reason being is that if Harry came to life with the family, things will be divided and shared, including shelter, food, and expenditures. The perspective of Jagu's wife is different from her husband because she thinks about her family as a priority, not the strange boy whom she does not know about. Now, if you take a look at the criticisms of psychoanalytic theory, this argument happens because of three main factors, such as fear, needs, and desire. It is true that Jagu's wife fears that if Harry comes to her family, she will have to spend more, and it is very risky if the family is sick and needs money. She might feel afraid that her husband will look at her children in a different way. Moreover, her family is in need of a lot of daily necessities such as money, food, and even medicines. Therefore, if Harry comes, it could prevent her from saving all of those things. Last but not least, Jagu's wife is being greedy for the sake of her own family. Her desire to take care of her family, support them through thick and thin, and help them if there is a problem occurs, made her become a selfish person. Her strong ambition to protect her family caused her to have a conflict with her husband. But at the end of the day, after Harry confides with her about his family, she started to feel soft and understand about Harry more. Now, for the last important messages, I would like to hand the floor to Rotana.
Hello everyone, my name is Rotana and I will cover this last point, which is about a hostile person is actually a nice person inside. So let's get straight to the point together. The last message, which is also essential, is that a hostile person is actually a nice person inside. If you take a closer look at the two characters, which are Biju and Jagu's wife, you can see that both of them appear to be unfriendly and arrogant toward the others, but you can see that at the end of the day, they are nice people. Jagu's wife accepted Harry and agreed to bring him to the dispensary. On the other hand, Biju is known as an arrogant and superior person in the village. He is wealthy but boastful to his surroundings, and that is why he received hatred and disimprovement. However, when the other villagers who got lost in the sea, he volunteered to help with the coastal guards without anyone insisting. He acts tough on the outside, but the inside he is actually a nice person after all. Based on the psychoanalytic criticism theory, you can see that because this involves the conflict and the needs of both characters. Like Biju had a conflict with the other people in the village because they are jealous of his wealth and they gossip about him. That's why he felt angry and ashamed because of them. Hence, he showed his arrogant and rude behavior to others. Also, he had built the strongest and biggest boat among the villagers, but it seemed like no one in the village appreciates what he's doing. They don't care at all. Biju need recognition and praise from the other, but since then, they don't. That's why he become unfriendly. They just don't care about him, and so it's create this arrogant behavior of him to others. On the other hand, Jagu's wife felt angry toward her husband for bringing another boy home. Moreover, she needed all her children's safety and their well-being. So when her husband takes a stranger to the house, she started to feel so disappointed and became very arrogant and very unfriendly to Harry. So that's all from my point, and for the next one, my teammate Manit will take over. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Manit, and I am going to discuss the next part of the presentation, which is about the useful idea from the study text that connected to our daily life. So for the first point that I want to talk about is the negative effects of violence. Like in the story, Jagu and his wife were arguing in front of Harry. Until Jagu could not stand with his wife, he decided to go to toddy shop to have a drink. Even if this violence is considered as verbal fight, but it really left a bad impact on people surrounding us. Violence is not a solution to the problems. Moreover, it affects the children as well. At the end of the day, if you use violence to solve the problems, then nothing will work out. Normally, communication is the key. Just like one saying goes, darkness cannot put out darkness, only light does. Just like in real life, all the people around the world, not only in India or Cambodia, but all of the countries in this world, most people use violence instead of finding a way out of their problem. Mostly uneducated people who live in rural areas, they seem to like using violence on their husband or wife or children. Moreover, they beat their parents as well if they are not happy about something in their family. Fewer educated people also use violence against other people because they might have authority that nobody can harm them. There are so many cases regarding to this problem these days in Cambodia. More importantly, a lot of young children suffer from depressions because their parents use violence in the family. Overall, violence, whether it is verbal or physical, can only leave damage or injury to the family. A lot of young children suffer from depression because their parents use violence in the family. This is the end of my part. Now I would like to invite Davin to continue another part of the analysis.
Hello lecturer and everyone, my name is Davin. I will be continuing from Manat. I'm going to talk about the next reflection, which is about the monsoon season, which happened in the study text in real life. Monsoon season usually happens between April and September. In the study text, monsoon had caused distractions and difficulty for people in Bombay and Seoul. In Bombay, there was a lot of problems, such as the sewer was clogged because of the amount of trash which flowed along with the rainwater on the street, which also caused flood. in the city, and also there was a lot of chaos everywhere. In Seoul, fishermen in Aliba lost in the storm, and people couldn't go fishing no more because it is very dangerous and they didn't want to risk their life. For in real life, in India there was the most unusual monsoon season. It lasts from May to September 2019. It was considered as the most heaviest monsoon in the 25 years. More than thousands of people lost their lives. A lot of buildings got collapsed and many crops were destroyed. The next part, reflection, which is related to love and kindness. In the study text, Mr. Panwala treated Harry like his own son. Mr. Panwala even brought Harry to see the sea, the storm, and also bought him coconut and paper cones filled with puffed rice and watched the monsoon together. And also, Jagu took Harry because he couldn't help himself ignore Harry, who was sick, to stay at Jagu's place for a night. This showed the act of kindness from Jagu and Mr. Panwala toward Harry. For in the real life situation, people show kindness toward another because people time can get stressed after a long day at work. Just a little act of kindness from others can put a smile on his or her face and also make his days or her days a little bit better. This shows that there is still hope for them. Well, this is the end of my part. Thank you for listening. Now let's move on to conclusion, which Lai Ming will continue.
In conclusion, our team has covered the Chapter 10 summary and the 3 important messages that are based on psychoanalytic theories, such as kindness costs nothing, but it means everything. And the other one is about disagreement is a sign of conflicts. And the last one is a hostile person is a nice person inside. And beside that, we also discuss about the 3 useful ideas that reflect our daily life, including the bad effects of violence, the negative impacts of monsoons or rainy seasons, and the last one, the positive effects of love and kindness. So everyone, are you enjoying our presentations? I hope you do. And this is the end of our video, and thank you for listening from the beginning till the end. Thank you and goodbye.